What's up, party people? This is Turkish Jude Mossberg here from Facebook, Jude's Junk Facebook comic book shop, YouTube channel, and this is Pay It Lake near McCall, Idaho, where I live. I'm watching the San Diego Comic-Con. Just released some news about Ghost Rider. And so, as I always suggest to people, when big news comes out like that, that's the time to sell, not buy. So if you're a dealer, and a lot of people know this, but if you're getting into comics, this is the time to sell those big keys. The hype is hot, everything's new. What is that? Ghost Rider 1 is a cheap book and it's up to 3. I just saw someone trying to sell it for 400. I actually just bought one for like 50 bucks at 9.8, and I'm just waiting for it to get here, but it's already up to like 300-400. So I got a crazy good deal on an auction. I watch auctions and then pass some of those discounts on to you guys if you use my brokerage services. But in pricing some of these Ghost Rider books, I just sold a Ghost Rider 1, 7.5, signed by Stan Lee. I figured it would sell quick, and it sold before the announcement. Not sure I could have got more for it after the announcement because I had already priced it relatively high, but cheaper than anywhere else that was available. But I have a Ghost Rider number 4, 9.8, back in 1970, volume 1. And I think the last sale was like 300 or 400. And then the sale after that, which is the real last sale, was like 700. And it highlights something I wanted to share with you, is that with this advent of fast information, we're not going to go back to this low, steady, it went up really high and it's going to come back and it's going to be a low, steady. It went up really quick, it's going to crash, and then it's going to go shoot back up because people are overcorrecting. The prices went too low. I was buying over the last 5 years when everybody else was terrified. What's that saying? When everybody else is scared, be greedy. I was being greedy over the last 4 years, buying everything I could on auctions, paying 50% fair market value, but then fair market values dropped. But things are going to go up, and I've seen this happen more and more recently. The last 2 sales of a book might be 700 and 300. And so for our industry, everybody is focused on the value of the book is what the last sale is. And everyone's like, oh, that last sale is 300. It's not worth anything more than 300, 320 something. And then someone just pays 700 for it. It goes to show you that last sale is not equal value of the book or what the price is. The market for the last 5 years has changed. It's already changed. I've already talked about it in this last year that we've hit a bottom. Interest in comic books is picking up, as you can see from some of the videos. San Diego Comic-Con. The buzz is back. Marvel, DC is back. Comics are back. Collecting is back. And you're not going to see, people that are just looking at last sale, they're going to miss the boat. And so what that saying is, when everyone is scared, be greedy, and when everyone's be greedy, be scared. Everyone's being greedy right now. This is the time to be scared. This is the time to sell out, get rid of everything. I've seen some friends of mine that had some huge books and have just been collecting big books over the last 5 years, and they're selling out everything. So this is how you follow the ups and downs of the market. You buy when everyone's afraid, and you sell when everyone's trying to buy. Don't get caught up in the FOMO, the movie. That's not how you speculate and make money. All right, you make money by selling when the hype is high. And will it get higher? Maybe. But that Ghost Rider 1, Volume 2, selling for $300-400. There's a lot of Ghost Riders. I just saw it came out in the 90s. There's a lot of them. They're going to flood the market, and the price is going to come down. So if you can get $300-400 for it now, do it. I would put mine up for sale, but it hasn't come in the mail yet. Other Ghost Rider keys, I'm going to put them up for sale right away. And people are interested in Ghost Rider now. Been waiting for it for a while. We have known Ghost Rider is going to be in process for years. The time to spec on that has passed. If you wanted to get it, you got to get it when it was low. Don't get me wrong, if making money and a profit isn't your goal and you just want it because this is what everybody's talking about, and you're that kind of person, everybody wants a Tesla, so I'm gonna go buy a Tesla. Everybody hates a Tesla, so I'm gonna torch my Tesla. you know, if you're more concerned with people think, and there's an element of that in collecting, you want to be able to show off what you got. There's also an element of, what do they call it, where they're gambling, you know, the new blind bags and everything. That's really popular, and that may or may not have anything to do with making money. So I get it, there's more to it than just making a profit. But for many of us that have been collecting for a long time, we learn so much about comic books that we want to monetize what we've learned over 30, 40 years. And we want to grow our collection by selling some other stuff. And so you sell a little bit and you buy more. You sell a little bit more and you buy more. And that's how those of us who have large collections have gotten large collections. You can't say, you know, how did you get all these great books? Well, unless you're unlimited wealth and you're just going out and buying everything and holding on to it, which there might be some people, but most of us don't have unlimited wealth. So sell $1,000, buy $1,000. Sell $400, buy $400. Sell 40, buy 40. That's kind of a rhythm that I think a lot of us follow. Not everybody, I get it. But prices are going to jump. And it might take an announcement, it might take some of these specs that have fallen off the cliff to get another, you know, breath of life breathed into the rumor that the movie's coming out. As soon as they have something with Blade, Dracula 10, is it Dracula 10? Is that what it's called? That's gonna get back into favor. You know, as soon as that movie gets back into some kind of good script, that's what they're waiting for, is a good script, because they couldn't get the good script before. They had the actor, but they didn't have the script, and so they're waiting for a good script. And it shows you that good scripts aren't easy just to poof, cross your fingers and make happen. So you're gonna see more and more, and I've seen it more and more. Last sale is 300, most current sale is double, 600, 700, 800. And you've seen some of these books over the last 5 years. You look at what the price was in 2019, 2020, somewhere around there, 2019, 2020. And if it was $1,000 then, you can probably be sure it's gonna be worth about $1,000 now, if not more, because inflation is a real thing. It should be worth more than it was in 2019. And if you've seen it fall off a cliff, that's just an auction issue. It was sold at an auction, nobody wanted the vision, nobody wanted the Ghost Rider, there was no buzz, whatever, it fell through the cracks. Maybe the auction was catering to people with smaller budgets, and they sold a Ghost Rider 1 Stan Lee, and it didn't have a lot of big buyers, or maybe it was a big buyer auction like Heritage, and a lot of the smaller books fall through the cracks there. You know, the 200-300 books, they end up going for cheap on Heritage because those are bigger buyers. So just be aware of this. Be aware that if you're constantly looking for the last sale, you may very well miss the book. And that's okay. You know, if you want to miss it, that's fine. But don't be surprised when you see, I've seen it with Batman The Dark Knight Returns. Before the Frank Miller signing was announced, the 2, 3, and 4, they had gone for some ridiculously low prices. I mean, lower than the cost to do it. And then all of a sudden they doubled, went up over $1,000 each. They were like $300 for a signed one, double signed one, $400. And then they went up over $1,000 just with one buyer. And so you have to take into account, is that just an anomaly? Because there's one sale is 300, the next sale is 700. If it's a hot book like Ghost Rider, people are buying it. It's probably going to remain hot for a while, at least until supply catches up to demand, and then it might taper off. But what does it take to have supply catch up to demand? Well, people like me need to see the stuff, put it for sale, and post it online. It just happened Saturday, which was yesterday. So how many comic book collectors, businesses have the time on Sunday to start putting all their books up for sale? Typically a little bit of that happened, but more of it's gonna happen Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week, and then supply will outpace demand, and we'll see the numbers go back down. Or people will be sending in their raw books to get 9/8, and then we'll see supply. But demand might increase as well, so you never really know. But beware. The valley where it went up in 2021, 22, and then crashed, if that point is below 2020, 2019, you can bet it's gonna jump back up, at least for what inflation was going. Some books never even got down into the 2019 range. Those are hot books. If they didn't even fall to the 2019 rates, some people say they're still overvalued. I would say those showed the sign of strength. If they never went back to the original levels, that means it was a strong book. You know, you look at your Batman 423s, ASM 300s, Incredible Hulk 340s, Spider-Man 1s, 9.8, 9.9, 10.0, Sign, you know, they're breaking records right now. So just be aware that you're going to see this kind of volatility in the marketplace. Think about this if you're buying. Think about this if you're selling. Think about if this is the right time to get in. Buy when people are afraid. Sell when people are greedy. Anyways, happy hunting, guys. Have fun.